You are listening to the Overthinker's Guide to Joy, episode 23. This is the one where I'm going to talk all about emotional eating. Let's dive in. Hey there, you are listening to the Overthinker's Guide to Joy. This is a podcast for overthinkers, overachievers, perfectionists, type A, stressed out, anxious people who just want to calm down and feel better. I'm your host, Certified Life Coach Jackie DeCrenis. Hey there, how are you? I hope everybody's having a good week. So it's interesting how I see patterns with clients, and I feel like there must be some reason these things come up in waves or in patterns at certain times. And so I like to do my podcasts around patterns I see with clients because I think as a microcosm, if my clients are going through this several at once over the course of several weeks, then chances are it probably is something that a lot of people can relate to. So I like to bring that collective into my podcasts and share with you what I think might be a universal problem, not just a problem for a few individuals. So the subject this week is going to be about the struggle of emotional eating. And this is what many coaches and therapists refer to as buffering. And there are many forms of buffering. It's not just food, but there can be buffering with alcohol or drugs or video games, gambling, even binge watching television. Basically anything that is an addiction to numb the feelings that might feel unpleasant in your body is buffering. So I'm going to probably do a future podcast on some of the other types of buffering at a later date. But for today's episode, I just want to focus on buffering with food because what I've seen is that the single biggest obstacle for most of my clients in losing weight has been buffering. Now, I'm not specifically a weight loss coach, although I do coach about 50% of my clients on learning to eat healthier as part of a healthy lifestyle and also losing weight. But I believe that eating healthier is just part of, like I said, a lifestyle that creates less anxiety and stress in your body. When you are putting good and better fuel into your body, you tend to feel happier, healthier, less anxious, and less stressed. So that's sort of the place I'm coming from. And then the bonus is for those who maybe need to lose weight or want to lose weight, they get that on top of feeling less anxious and less stressed. But developing healthy eating habits is just part of a healthy body and healthy mind. And I very much believe in the old adage, you are what you eat. So feeling good in your body and feeling good in your clothes can lead to more self-confidence, better sleep, better mental clarity, and less health problems down the road. But I know that weight is a lifelong battle for many people, and I have spent the better part of 30 years trying to figure out what works best for my body, my lifestyle, and it has been a lot of trial and error. And look, there is no one recipe for everybody. Some people do well on keto, others on paleo, others prefer a vegetarian or vegan lifestyle. I've actually tried them all. My body doesn't respond to most of the diets. And so I do a program that I feel is the most well-balanced and advantageous for my body. But I also don't believe in the word diet. I think eating is a lifestyle habit, and I love food and I love cooking, and I've said this before on previous podcasts. I don't think food is the enemy, and I don't think it should be treated as the enemy, but I also think it needs to be respected, and I don't think it's something to use as a drug, and I don't think it's something to use to buffer your feelings. So that's why I think it's important to create good, healthy habits around food and your relationship with food. I believe that's the success to long-term weight loss and maintaining a healthy, happy weight. So I have many clients who will tell me that food is their social life. It's how they connect with family and friends and colleagues, whether it's a business lunch, a family dinner, parties, potlucks, barbecues, travel, whatever. It feels like everything for them is centered around food. Food is social. It is cultural. It is international. And it's a way of connecting without even speaking the same language. It's a way of sharing art and love and passion. I never look at food as an enemy, even though it is important for me to make healthy food choices. I don't think it's an either or thing. Food is fuel. Food is our life source, and food can be used as medicine. But like I said earlier, food can also be used as a drug to manage our emotions. And this is where we have to examine or re-examine our relationship with food for optimal health and wellness. Now, when my clients decide they want to lose weight, I have a program that I put most people on, and I have about a 99% success rate. Most clients on this program lose weight, and they do so fairly effortlessly. And that's because it's not hard to follow. There's no measuring of food. There's no calorie counting. It takes into account eating out and living your life. But those that struggle on the program admit that it's not because they're feeling hungry or feeling deprived. They're saying it's just that because eating and losing weight feels emotional to them. They struggle with staying on track. And if you're struggling with your weight and there's nothing medically wrong, meaning there's no metabolic reason why you can't lose weight or there's no disease that is preventing you from losing weight, then most likely it's just the emotions you have connected to food that is tripping up your weight loss. So eating can be a way to temporarily silence or stuff down uncomfortable emotions, including anger, fear, sadness, anxiety, loneliness, resentment, shame. While numbing yourself with food or buffering with food, it's easy, at least in the short term, to avoid the difficult emotions you'd rather not feel. Boredom or feelings of emptiness. Again, this is what we call comfort eating. And when people comfort eat, they feel like it's a way to reward themselves for a hard day, whether it's a good day or a bad day. Somehow, food seems like the best way to manage it. Or maybe it's the best way to socialize, or maybe it's the only way to socialize. But it's all the same thing. We give away our power, or we bury our emotions in this buffering habit. So how do we change the emotional relationship with food so that it doesn't become the enemy? Well, the first thing is to recognize the triggers of what's causing you to eat. And again, I'm not talking about hunger or low blood sugar. I'm talking about that absent-minded eating, that late night eating, that absent-minded snacking, or that eating after you're full just because you wanted something to do. By recognizing the triggers of the need to comfort yourself, the first question is, what's the trigger? What are you going through emotionally? Like before you grab that handful of chips or nuts or M&Ms or whatever, what's the emotion in your body? Are you feeling mad? Are you feeling hurt? Are you under pressure? Are you just bored? Or are you tired? Each one of these things might have a different response. If you're reaching for comfort food, sugar, fast food, processed food, snacks with little nutritional value, you're more likely to crave these things because of the association you have with that food and its memory. Whether it's pizza when you were little or macaroni and cheese or ice cream or cookies or candy, all of these foods might be linked to a childhood memory of being comforted, maybe by a parent or a caregiver at some point. It was a reward. So now your brain associates with those foods as, quote, feeling better. And we usually have recurring thoughts that come up around eating poorly or eating for comfort. Thoughts like, I've had a hard day, I deserve this. Or I had a great day and I deserve this. Or I'm too tired to make something healthy. I'm starving and I don't have any other quick food options. I'm just going to eat this. I'm bored. I'm lonely. I don't care about being healthy right now. But if you're like most adults who struggle with their weight, these foods the fast ones, the sugary ones, the salty ones, the processed ones. These foods might temporarily make you feel better because they have a sense memory that you've attached to. But most likely within an hour or two, all you're going to do is eat more or feel bloated or feel guilty or feel uncomfortable in your body. And that's when you start thinking the negative thoughts. I blew my diet. I have no self-control. It's hard to lose weight. I've already fallen off the wagon, so I might as well finish off the plate of cookies or the pint of ice cream. And you start negotiating with yourself. I'll start my diet again tomorrow or Monday. Now, if any of these things sound familiar, you are not alone. These are just old habits. And it's about changing the old habit, like I always say, for a good new habit. So, what are the ways you can set yourself up for success and not fall into the pattern of emotional eating or comfort eating or buffering? If you're trying to lose weight, the first thing you want to do is create an awareness about your relationship with food. And how you do that is by starting a food journal. Start writing down everything you eat, and this is what's called tracking. And this includes the BLTs, as my friend Lindsay calls them, the bites, licks, and tastes. They count too. When you have to commit pen to paper or log it into an app, you create an accountability partner. And that accountability partner is you. Sometimes just having to write down a bite of brownie is too much work. So it might make you skip taking that absent-minded nibble if you knew you had to write it down. But tracking does another thing. It creates a conscious awareness of what you're really eating and how much you're eating. Now, I usually give this exercise of tracking or food journaling to my clients for a week before even attempting a new eating program. Just spend a week tracking what you eat and discover how much conscious or unconscious or overeating you might be doing. Now, my clients who commit to tracking their food, water, and weight on a daily basis are the ones who have the greatest success in losing weight. But for those who struggle, it's not because they're, quote, hungry. It's because whether they're overeating or snacking or eating for comfort, it's emotional. So what do you do when you feel emotional? Whether that's boredom or tired or just in need of comfort. The answer is acknowledging your needs for comfort. If you are tired, try drinking a glass of water first. For those of you who listened to my very first episode of this podcast, you know that dehydration can mimic a lot of behaviors. Fatigue and hunger can be two of them. So before you do anything else, try having a glass of water. If you're sufficiently hydrated and still tired, it's possible you need to eat. And you should if you're hungry. But just make sure you choose a snack or a meal with protein, whether that's nuts or cheese, eggs, or whatever meat protein works best for your body. Just make sure it's minimally processed. The more natural, the better. Almonds and a piece of fruit are a great snack. Celery and a nut butter, hard-boiled egg and some carrots, a slice of cheese and an apple, meat or fish and veggies if you're having a full sit-down meal. Whatever works. But protein and vegetables are the best choices you can make if you're truly hungry. Now, what if you're just tired and you're like, I need a pick-me-up. I need sugar. Let me offer you this. Can you take a rest? Can you take a break between activities or meetings? Can you find 5 or 10 minutes to stretch out on the floor, a sofa, a bed, or even in your parked car by just closing your eyes for 5 minutes? Sometimes if you're tired, your body is telling you you need to rest, or maybe meditate or power nap. But if you're tired, do it. Take the time if you can. Don't eat if you're not legitimately hungry. Listen to what your body needs. Okay, let's say you've checked all the boxes now. You're hydrated, you're not technically hungry, and you're not tired. Maybe you're just simply feeling bored or sad or lonely. What do you do now? The answer is distract yourself. The best distractions from emotional eating are taking 5 minutes, just long enough to help you switch gears. And here's some ideas for switching gears. Go for a 5-minute walk. Sit outside. Put some of your favorite music on. Dance. Call a close friend and chat. The more ways you can think of to distract yourself from emotional eating, the easier it will become to stop in the future, because you'll have retrained your brain to do something else that's more productive, more nurturing, and less self-sabotaging to your dietary goals. Now, these alternatives will become your new habit. Taking control of your relationship with food and your body will empower you to take control in other aspects of your life. When you feel better in your clothes and in your body, you show up with more confidence. You will stress less about things like what to wear, what to eat or not eat, and feel less self-conscious in both work and social situations. And as I always say, it is never too late to make a change. You are not too far gone. You are not too old. Change is available to everyone right now. And if diets have failed you before, I encourage you to just take a couple of steps here. 1, lose the word diet from your vocabulary. 2, start journaling. And 3, when you find yourself emotionally buffering with food, see if you can't find a healthier distraction or choice rather than going to that old familiar habit of just eating to fill a void. All right, that's all I have for you this week. Have a great week. I wish you great success in whatever you set your intentions for. I will talk to you next time. Bye for now. If you want to learn more tips about managing your stress and how to manage your overthinking brain, just go to my website and sign up for my weekly newsletter at JackieDeCrenis.com. That's JackieDeCrenis.com. You can also follow me on Instagram at Jackie DeCrenis. Thank you for listening to this episode of Overthinker's Guide to Joy. If you like what was offered in today's episode, I would love you to leave a review and subscribe or follow wherever you get your podcasts.